Well, good morning and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting. This is Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. For introductions, on my left is Deb Shore, Commissioner Deb Shore, and also Commissioner and Vice Chair Sean Flowerday. And on my right is Commissioner Rick Vest, and I'm Commissioner Roma Amundson, Chair of the Board. Will you please join with me now to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you so much. And Mr. Clerk, will you begin the agenda?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, June 11, 2019.
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through June 18, 2019.
Move approval?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 3 are consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there's an exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. The items are approval of utility permits with no cost to the county for the following. Number 1816, allowing Windstream Nebraska LLC to install 2,500 linear feet of new fiber optic service to the Buell Heights subdivision in Hickman. Number 1812, allowing Unite Private Network to install new underground fiber optic cable adjacent to westerly right-of-way line of Southwest 42nd Street from south of West Hallam Road, northerly to Monolith South Development. Number 1814, allowing Windstream Nebraska Inc. to install fiber optic cable under the northerly right-of-way line of Roca Road and South 64th Street, easterly to the Preserve at Cross Creek subdivision. Number 1815, allowing Windstream to install underground fiber optic cable under the northerly right-of-way of Martell Road from South 68th Street to South 75th Street. The following county contracts for business card and letterhead printing. C-18-272 with Fire Spring and number 18-271 with Cornhusker State Industries. Change order number 3 to county contract C-18-471 with HR Bookstrom, Inc. to include additional services for repair of the southwest channel bank due to failure from saturation and for drain tile extension. Additional cost to the county is $5,980.99. Grant contract with Omni Inventive Care for parent management training program funded by Juvenile Justice Prevention Funds for the period of July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020, and a total amount of $25,000. Amendment to grant contract C-18-555 with Lighthouse, Inc. for the Restorative Justice Program to increase funding by $1,888.41.
Move approval of the consent items?
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Next is number 4, special presentations. The first one is Lancaster County Visitors Improvement Fund grant to the Lincoln Arts Council for the promotion of the Lincoln Arts Festival. Troy Gagner, Lincoln Arts Council Development Director, and Jeff Mull, Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau Executive Director and Vice President.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
We are here today to talk about a recent recommendation of the VPC at a recent meeting. I have been with you, it seems like, for at least 4 of the last 5 weeks, talking about amazing grant opportunities in Lincoln and Lancaster County. The one that we have before us today was brought forward by Troy Gagner of the Lincoln Arts Council, who is the development director. Troy and I have talked quite collaboratively over the years about the growth of the Lincoln Arts Council and the Arts Festival. And there's a growing need in our community that we merge events and merge activities together to make one powerful destination type tourism event. And some of the early conversations we had were regarding the Arts Festival as well as Lincoln Calling. And so a lot of great energy in this community when it comes to the arts. And the arts are so broad spectrum, whether it's music or something you can make or look at or paint or do. That is the arts to me from a very abstract way of looking at it. So we're very excited about this grant recommendation for $10,000 for the Arts Council. And with that, I'll let Troy talk a little bit about their project and answer any questions.
Morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to move downtown. The Lincoln Arts Festival is now in its 19th year. The first 18, it was held at South Point. Unfortunately, we've just kind of outgrown the space. They've got construction going on. We take up too much parking, and that marriage that worked so well for 18 years just doesn't work anymore. At the same time, the downtown master plan was being revised, and there was a call for the Arts Festival to move downtown, so the timing was perfect. We always do this event in the fall, usually late September, and Lincoln Calling happens about the same time almost every year, kind of depending on home football games. And so when we were looking to move downtown, it made perfect sense to co-locate with Lincoln Calling. And so we will be locating downtown on P Street between 13th and Centennial Mall, and then we will also have 13th and 14th Streets between P and Q, and then Tower Square as well. We expect probably 10,000 or so people to come down that weekend for the Arts Festival. Lincoln Calling draws another 8,000 to 10,000 people, so we're hoping for well over 20,000 people downtown over the course of the weekend. We should have about 120 artists this year. Only 48 of those are from Nebraska. The rest come from 20 other states from around the country. And specifically, our request to you was to help us market the festival outside of the city of Lincoln. And so we are working with our marketing partners to really target central and other parts of Nebraska, but then also northern Kansas, parts of Missouri, western Iowa, and then up into the Sioux Falls, Sioux City area as well. And so, again, we're excited to be downtown in addition to co-locating with Lincoln Calling. There's another arts activity going on that same weekend downtown called Play on P, which will have art installations between the Haymarket and Antelope Valley, so hopefully that will draw even more people to the festival as well. And we are also working to do some co-marketing with Partnership for Healthy Lincoln with their Streets Alive, because it also happens that weekend on Sunday. So a lot going on that weekend. And so what we're hoping to do, they'll be in the South Salt Creek neighborhood just minutes away. And so we are collaborating on ways to move people back and forth between the festivals, whether that be by shuttle, by bike rentals, or whatever it is. And so we're excited to move downtown. We've got lots of partners, the Lincoln Children's Museum, the Nebraska History Museum, the Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts will be opening at that time. They're going to open up the center during the festival and run student films and partner with us in a number of other ways. LPS Arts and Humanities Focus Program, Doane University will be down doing things as well. So it's not just the artists and the arts, but it really will be a lot of other activities that will hopefully entertain people from 0 to 100.
Troy, are you going to get that all on one poster?
Yeah, the type will be very, very small.
Point is, a lot of activities in one league.
A lot of activities, and so yeah, that's kind of the hope, is it's not just going to bring people down who are interested in purchasing art, but people that just want an experience.
Oh, yeah.
And I think one thing that I will add really quickly, Troy has really accepted the challenge, as well as Lincoln Calling, to bring people in from outside Lancaster County. What does that mean? Heads and beds, right? It's hotel lodging tax. So they really accepted the challenge and really stepped up to make this a regional destination event. And I think by growing to very successful events, it's a good thing for our county as well as our county lodging tax collections.
That will be a very exciting weekend.
And very tiring, I think.
And very
for some of
tiring,
us, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And Mr. Clerk, will you go to correlating item 6A?
This is Lancaster County Visitors Improvement Fund grant contract with Lancaster County as a sponsor and the Lincoln Arts Council as a grantee in the amount of $10,000. For promotion of the Lincoln Arts Festival, the grant term is July 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2019.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next is 4B, Commissioner's Award of Excellence for May 2019, awarded to Jocelyn McSwine, Corrections, in the category of Safety.
Brad, are there some young people in the audience that might want to join us up here on the dais for this item? A gentleman, would you like to come up? We got a seat next to Rick and a seat next to me.
There you go.
You want to come up here?
You may want to stay.
Young
together,
guys?
Deb.
Old guys? All guys? Got a better view up here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Would you like me to?
Please.
Okay. Jocelyn McSwine has been selected as the Commissioner's Award of Excellence winner for May 2019. Jocelyn works as a correctional officer and began working for the county on August 26, 2013. She was nominated by Nick Valkasek, Correction Sergeant, in the category of Safety. In his nomination, the sergeant states, on November 10, 2018, Officer McSwine was alerted by inmates that another inmate was choking. Officer McSwine saw the inmate grabbing her throat and observed that she was turning red in the face. Utilizing her training, she quickly ascertained that the inmate was in distress and required emergency assistance. Officer McSwine called for medical assistance and immediately put her training in action by delivering a series of abdominal thrusts, otherwise known as a helmet maneuver. Officer McSwine was able to dislodge the blockage, which allowed the inmate to breathe on her own again. Officer McSwine's rapid response likely saved this inmate's life. For these reasons, we're pleased to award Jocelyn McSwine with the Commissioner's Award of Excellence for the month of May 2019.
So, I'm Brad Johnson, Lancaster County Director. I guess those actions pretty much speak for themselves, so just wanted to, congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Lancaster County Commissioners, I want to present you with this award for safety. And, you know, I think it's very important when these people are in our custody, it's our job to detain them for the public good. But it's also our job to keep them safe, to keep them protected from whatever dangers might be. You've really shown that. You've done a great job. Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
I would like to thank the department, Mr. Brad Johnson. I have an amazing set of people I work with, very proud. I also have my children and fiance standing up there, but I'm very humble. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Definitely a lifesaver, literally. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
We're good.
4C is recognition of county maintenance engineering employees for their performance at the 2019 Winter Maintenance Workshop. Pam Dingman, County Engineer.
Yes, very nice. Wait.
Good morning.
Just a minute. Hold on. Okay. I'm ready now.
There you go, Deb.
I'd like to point out, I don't have a vest I'd be wearing.
We'll see what we can do to
I'm
work
sure.
on that, Commissioner
I'm sure.
Flowerday. Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So this is the fourth or fifth year we have fourth, it must be the fourth, that we participated as a county in the Winter Maintenance Workshop, which in addition to a lot of training on how to handle winter situations on the road, has an equipment rodeo. And so a couple years ago, we started acknowledging the people who work with us and do well in the rodeo. And today I have Ron and Bud with me because they are also, Ron has been very vested in the rodeo. He volunteers a lot of time to make sure that this rodeo happens for all county employees and city employees in the state. And so I appreciate Ron and Bud's dedication to safety. There's several competitions, the first of which is the backhoe competition. Chris Visser in the county participated in the competition. He came in second place. He actually called Ron this morning and said that with the upcoming rains, he couldn't bring himself to come down and be acknowledged this morning because he was too worried that he needed to be spending some time on his roads. And so we will get the second place on the backhoe to Chris. I think that is very honorable. And then if you guys wanted to come up front, Keith Tennelson actually finished first place for Lancaster County on the backhoe. And so, Keith, nice shirt. Ed, Paul, Ed's been with us for quite a while now. He does a great job. A lot of people don't know he's an auctioneer on the side, so once in a while I run into him in charity auctions. He does a great job. Ed got 100% on the written test for operating the backhoe.
Very good.
Second place on the skid steer was Chris Visser again, so obviously he did very well. First place on the skid steer was Curtis Piccone. Curtis. And Terry, where's Terry? There you are. Got 100% on the written test, and so congratulations. I know it's not always easy to do written tests on the work that we do. Is Lyndon here?
Hi there.
There you are. Lyndon got second place overall on the, or second place on the loader, and so I know the loader's kind of your thing, right? There you go. Steve Slapnicka, also known as Slappy. Congratulations, first place on the loader. A lot of people don't realize. Slappy has a sense of humor, but he's also very competitive. Then on the single axle plow truck, which is a competition that is done in teams, is second place Lou Gasper and John Juracek. I'll make sure I get these right. Congratulations. Thank you for competing. And first place was Lyndon and Terry. On the motor grader, and Lancaster County has a deep history in our competition as motor graders. Eric Hunt was second place for Lancaster County. He was also second place overall. And just a few words about Mr. Hunt. In the 4 years he's competed, he's finished first once and second 3 times. And so the competition is pretty intense. And congratulations, Eric. You're a great operator. Also, we have Bob Larson. And Bob and Eric have a little competition going on here because Bob has finished first twice and second once. And he actually is the state champion motor grader operator. And so, congratulations. This is a very important event for our people to attend. It gives them the opportunity to do simulators for motor graders and for plow trucks, as well as practice the operation on an obstacle course. I did really appreciate that we needed volunteers this year to help with the competition, and Commissioner Shore did drive to Grand Island first thing in the morning, which I'm not really a morning person, so I always appreciate when people donate their time first thing in the morning for us, but drove to Grand Island to help out with the equipment rodeo.
And again, congratulations, gentlemen. I was super impressed. I knew about the rodeo. I did know about the inspection component that went along prior to that, the written tests, and then also the time you spent in lectures, hearing from different experts across the country. So it really was a very comprehensive day and a half, and I appreciate you taking the time to further your skills, and was just very proud to have Lancaster County so well represented.
Me too.
Yeah, congratulations to all of you. Okay.
Okay, I think I can lose the vest now.
Next is number 5, public hearings.
Doesn't matter.
5A is a public hearing regarding an amusement license application from Prairie Pine Partners to hold Run for the Pines at 3100 North 112th Street, Lincoln, Nebraska on August 10th, 2019.
Okay, we'll open this public hearing. for the amusement license application from Prairie Pines Partners. Anybody here to speak in support of this amusement license application? Please come forward. Good morning.
Morning.
Did I get you guys to sign in? And
Okay.
And since this is a public hearing, I'll need to swear you both in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Okay, my name is Aaron Clare. I'm the properties manager for the Nebraska Forest Service, and I'm in charge of Prairie Pines Nature Preserve at 112th and Adams, just on the east side of Lincoln. And we're here today to talk about the special amusement licenses that we've applied for a couple activities that we have this summer. We are aware that there were some issues with city ordinances and how many special licenses we can have out at Prairie Pines. We are in the process of, we have applied for a special recreation facility permit with the planning department, so that is in process right now. And I'll let Sue talk about the two activities that we're applying for.
And my name is Sue Colas. I'm the coordinator of the Prairie Pines Partners. We're a 501c3 nonprofit that is trying to promote access to the Prairie Pines Nature Preserve and programming at the site. Prairie Pines is a 145-acre property that was held by Walt and Virginia Bagley for their lifetime, and when later years they donated the property to the University of Nebraska Foundation. And at that time, the Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources leased the property from the foundation. The Nebraska Forest Service became the property manager, and our nonprofit, the Prairie Pines Partners, became the programmer of the site. And so we have a really nice collaboration. And in our efforts to make the site available to the public, to provide education, nature-based conservation, natural resource conservation, education, and access to the many trails that are on the site, we began the process of slowly having public events there on the second Saturday of the month. All incorporate access to the trails for recreation and opportunities for education. And our number one audience at this time is probably young families with children. But we do, there are many people of all ages that come there. The activities that we are talking about at this hearing are those that are working to have collaborations with others to increase access to the site, because we feel it's a resource for the county and the city and the surrounding area to have green space on this side of the town. The two activities are the Run for the Pines, which is a 4-mile trail run. It begins and ends at Prairie Pines. It utilizes the Murdoch Trail. And the event helps to raise funds for an effort we're trying to connect the Murdoch Trail that ends at 112th Street, dead ends there, to Prairie Pines, which is a third of a mile south of there. So it will be a fundraiser for that. That's an evening event. And the second event, which is, I believe, next on the agenda, is the Meadowlark Music Festival. And that is another event to increase access to the site for the public, to have an environment that is green space, is for nature experience.
Okay, thank you. That covers both of them, so that the public hearing is for both. Is there anyone else to speak in support of? Okay.
if you'd sign in, guys. like to swear you guys in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen?
Good morning. My name is Hans Sturman. I'm the executive director of the Meadowlark Music Festival, which is working in collaboration to have a concert event at the Prairie Pines. Meadowlark Music Festival was founded in 2001 by Ann Chang, who is now the artistic director of the Lead Center, and we're winner of the Governor's Arts Award back in 2006. We specialize in presenting chamber music. We use that term broadly to mean classical chamber music, but other small groups of musicians. And so in this case, we're looking to have an event at the Prairie Pines that we're calling Wine, Women, and Song. We have 3 female vocalists coming. One is Molly Brown, who was a rising Nashville star, who's from Canada originally. You may be aware, if you, the winner of the Mayor's Arts Award, and also parenthetically my wife, Jackie Allen, is a great jazz singer. She'll be singing. And then finally we have the former Metropolitan Opera mezzo-soprano Kip Reuter-Foss will be coming. Hers is a very interesting story because we can speak about that some other time. But anyway, so we're very excited to have these 3 singers come. It's our events are always family-oriented. Students 16 and under are always free at all of our events at Meadowlark. And so we're excited to have an outdoor event among the pines, and it's just a gorgeous place.
My name is Clay Bradley. I'm the board president of Meadowlark Music Festival, and I'm always happy to let Hans do the shameless promotion.
Well, he does a good job.
Yeah, he's so good at it, why not?
Okay. Anybody, thank you. Is there anybody here to speak in opposition? Okay, anyone in a neutral capacity?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Steve Hendrickson with the Planning Department. The Planning Department actually recommended denial to both of these. Pleased to let you know that we have been working with Aaron on these applications. He's been working with Tom Chaka. They have applied for a special permit under the city zoning. The main problem is that without some type of a special permit for an outdoor recreational facility, they're only allowed 1 amusement license every year. And that is basically the case where we don't end up having a property owner who starts continually renting out their farm property for concerts and all kinds of things, one after another after another. So we allow through the county regulations 1 per year. They actually already have a license, but that license is not until August 24th for a community crops event. So our recommendation is actually that on item number B, that item you approve, and I'll pass out the language here, that item you approve just subject to the approval of a special permit in order that it comply with the county zoning regulations. Excuse me, in this case it would be the city zoning regulations. And our idea here is that basically they can go ahead, we don't have any conditions on item C, the July 13th one, because that would be the first one they would actually use. So they can use the amusement license for that one. They would not be in the violation of the city zoning regulations. It's not until their August 10th run for the Pines that they would actually be using the second amusement license. However, we have them on our Planning Commission agenda for July 10th. And even if somehow that were delayed 2 weeks to July 24th, they will be approved well in time before they're due in August. So we think we're going to be able to have this approved. Of course, it still needs to have the Planning Commission public hearing to see if there's any other types of issues. But with that special permit, if it is approved, that would then give them the ability to have multiple amusement licenses on the site and comply with zoning. So we're pleased to be able to recommend approval on these items, but on item B, it be subject to the condition of the special permit.
Okay, thank you.
And just so that I'm clear, you said that was a city resolution or a county
Excuse me, they're in the city 3-mile zoning jurisdiction.
Right.
So it is the city's zoning jurisdiction that limits them to 1 amusement license. Yes, thank you. I had to clarify.
Just trying to keep them straight.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you so much. We'll close this public hearing, and we will, will you please go to item 6, correlating item 6B?
This is under new business, amusement license application from Prairie Pine Partners to hold Run for the Pines at Prairie Pines Nature Preserve at 3100 North 112th Street, Lincoln, Nebraska, on August 10th, 2019.
And could you continue with the change in the verbiage?
Well, we'll make a motion.
We'll have to make a motion.
Oh, you have to make a
I would
okay.
make a motion that we approve this, subject to the condition that they obtain approval of a special permit in order to comply with the zoning regulations of the city of Lincoln.
And just so that I'm clear, your motion is in regards to the August 10th event, not the July 13th event.
Yes, my understanding is they have an amusement license for the July event.
I will second item B with the additional language.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes,
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Next is 5B, a public hearing regarding an amusement license application from Prairie Pine Partners to hold the Meadowlark Festival at 3100 North 112th Street in Lincoln, Nebraska on July 31st, 2019.
Move approval?
Second?
We have a motion and a second to,
Excuse me, I read the public hearing that wasn't open.
okay, yeah. What I actually did was because people came up,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
just simply
Yep.
included it within the public hearing. So we need to close that public hearing.
I believe that the chair consolidated the public hearings
I did.
because
So we're-
they were there for the same property. I think that we'll be okay on this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next is 6C, amusement license application from Prairie Pine Partners to hold the Meadowlark Festival at Prairie Pine Nature Preserve, 3100 North 112th Street, Lincoln, Nebraska, on July 13th, 2019.
I will now move approval.
And I will now second.
And
Have a motion and a second. Any
I could
discussion?
just make one comment, Sue and Aaron. I remember years ago when Mr. Bagley came before this board with his vision for what this property could be for our community. And just to see the example of these 3 events coming up this summer, I just know how thrilled he would be to know these people are enjoying all of his hard work over so many years.
Okay, please call the roll.
Vest,
yes,
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. 6D is a special designated license application from Fooster Inc. for an event at Prairie Pine Nature Preserve, 3100 North 112th Street, Lincoln, Nebraska, on July 13th, 2019.
Move approval?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
yes,
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. E is approval of the appointment of David Carey as the Director of the Lincoln City, Lancaster County Planning Department.
Good morning, David Carey, Planning Department. Here on behalf of myself, I guess, appreciative of the opportunity to continue to work with you and with the city, doing the planning work that we have both in the city and the county. It's been an honor to be the interim director for the past 4.5 years, and I'm excited to continue to do that work, and very happy to be here today for this opportunity. So I can answer any questions that you might have at this time.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
I move approval?
I second,
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
yes,
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. F is a resolution in a matter of setting salaries for the Election Commissioner and Chief Deputy Election Commissioner for the term of office starting September 7th, 2019.
move approval,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
yes,
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. 6G is a resolution, a matter of transferring appropriations from the general fund miscellaneous budget to various general fund agencies. The amount to be transferred is $954,841.
All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. Today, this resolution is really kind of the last piece of the current budget that we're in right now that will close out June 30th. This resolution is really just affecting the general fund. It's not changing the general fund's overall spending authority. It is just transferring authority in between departments or business units that we've got set up. So the way the statute is that it's set up that with these different departments, we need to make sure that we have enough spending authority in each of those departments. This resolution is doing that without really affecting the overall general fund budget.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Any questions?
I move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. H is an agreement with Protham to provide qualified professionals to recruit candidates for the position of Chief Administrative Officer to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners. The county will pay $19,500 for the professional services and up to $9,500 for expenses. The agreement shall be effective upon execution by both parties.
I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. I is setting the annual salary of Karen Peterson, Lancaster County Facilities and Properties Director, at $93,015 effective June 19th, 2019.
I move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. 6J is a special designated license application from James Arthur Vineyard for events at 2001 West Raymond Road, Lincoln, Nebraska on July 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th, and August 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st, 2019.
Move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. K is an agreement with the Administrative Office of the Courts and Probation for the operation of the Lancaster County Juvenile Drug Court. The term of the agreement is July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. L is an interlocal agreement with the following Lancaster County school districts for the provision of a school resource officer by the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. The school agrees to pay the county the amount as listed for the first year of the contract with a 2.5% increase each contract year thereafter. The terms of the agreements are from August 1st, 2019 to July 31st, 2022, and this includes District 148 Malcolm in the amount of $16,466.50. District number 160, which is Norris, in the amount of $32,933. District 161, which is Raymond Central, in the amount of $16,466.50. And District 145 Waverly, in the amount of $32,933.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. M is a grant contract with the Nebraska Crime Commission for the Operation Tipping Point Program. The commissioner will provide $35,000, and the Lincoln Police Department will provide a match share of $13,301 for a total project cost of $48,301. The grant period is July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
Move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. And is an agreement with Concogo-Cacan to provide referee services at a rate of $90 per hour to hear valuation protests for the 2019 tax year and to transmit to the Lancaster County Board of Equalization all papers relating to such protests together with written findings and recommendations.
Move approval?
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Next is number 7, public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make comment?
Good morning, Honorable Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm a familiar face, I know, Jonathan Leo from Lincoln, and I'm speaking on a familiar subject. I've done some additional due diligence with respect to the upcoming public hearing on the CAFO Working Group's activities scheduled for, I believe, June 27th. And there are a couple things that I want to bring to your attention regarding that. I did request from the Planning Department and received from the Planning Department a complete list of all of the applicants who had sought membership on the CAFO task force. And I compared that list and the resumes, those who were accepted and those who were not accepted, to the original call by this board to David Carey to set up the task force. There were 3 categories that Mr. Carey's letter, that Todd Wilchin's letter to Mr. Carey identified as ideal or preferred members of the task force. The first category was operators of, I presume, commercial animal feedlots. It wasn't specified otherwise. Government agencies and neighbors. And again, by neighbors, I'm assuming that Mr. Wilchin intended that neighbors of the area where the Lincoln Premium Poultry Barns would be sited, which would be an area between Denton and Crete. What is clear is that the 10 members of the task force who were selected included a couple of government agency representatives and probably 6 to 7, possibly 8 operators, people who have been involved in livestock growing, teaching, research, one form or another, and virtually no neighbors whatsoever. There were 3 neighbors who submitted resumes seeking to be on the task force. They were not selected. There is a landscape architect who is arguably within maybe 5 or 6 miles, I believe, of where the CAFO would be located. He was selected. I'm not even sure he considers himself a neighbor. So my concern is that there has not been a representative selection, even according to Commissioner Wilchin's call for membership on the task force. And although there are no minutes that were taken during any of the 6 meetings that have happened so far, I'm in a position where I have to ask you to trust my representation to you that there has not been any input to the task force that reflects the concerns that neighbors in the vicinity within a quarter, half mile, 1 mile or more radius of this proposed CAFO have about the quality of life impact that the siting will have on their properties as well as their use and enjoyment of their properties. I realize that I'm in an awkward position asking you simply to trust my judgment, although I would have a lot of people who would support me on this, and I'm sure that you'd have different opinions from both the Planning Department and perhaps the members of the CAFO Task Force itself. But in anticipation of what's happening on the 27th, I'm a little out of my league here in asking you for this because I don't know what your jurisdiction is or how you regard your jurisdiction over this task force. I know that ultimately you will be called upon to review any recommendations that the Planning Department has for amendments to the county's ordinance for commercial animal feedlots. But in anticipation of that, if it would be possible for the board to have someone at the public hearing so that there could be some independent judgment exercised by the board about how this hearing is being conducted, and to ensure that there are proper, there's a proper record kept of that hearing. I don't know whether or not members of the public will have an opportunity to engage with the planning department representatives who are going to be there, let alone with the members of the task force who will also be there. But I'm concerned that there won't be any dialogue or colloquy. If it turns out that my concerns are supported, what I would like to ask you to consider, and this is a bit of cart before the horse because the product has not been submitted to you yet, but I would like you to consider the possibility of resetting this charge that you made back in September to the planning department for a task force that seriously considers all aspects of commercial animal feedlot zoning regulation in Lancaster County, which in my judgment has not been done or accomplished by this particular effort. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Any other members of the public? Okay. Seeing none, please move on to the announcements.
The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold department budget hearings on Tuesday, June 18, 2019, immediately following the Lancaster County Board of Equalization meeting in the Villa Sword Studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, June 20th, 2019 at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford Studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next meeting on Tuesday, June 25th, 2019 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commission@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
The Board of Commissioners is now adjourned, and let's move to the Board of Equalization.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item one are minutes. Approve the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019.
Move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 2 are additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval of the additions and deductions.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 3 is a public hearing. This is motor vehicle tax exemption applications for Christian Heritage Children's Homes, Second Baptist Church, Resources for Human Development, Our Savior's Lutheran Church, Christian Retirement Homes doing business as Eastmont Towers, Capital Humane Society, Mosaic, College View Academy, Radiant Church, and Epona Horse Rescue.
Okay, we will open this public hearing. Is there anyone to speak in support of these tax exemption applications? Anyone in opposition? Anyone in a neutral capacity? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, and please move on to number 4.
That is action on motor vehicle tax exemption applications.
I would move approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Next is number 5, notice of assessed valuation change for property taxation purposes. This is for Jerry L. Berger and the Round Table Revocable Trust.
Good morning, Scott Gaines, Deputy County Assessor, Register of Deeds. These are two valuation notices we're recommending the board send to reflect hiccups that we discovered after valuation notices had been sent out. This will provide these two taxpayers opportunity for a 30-day appeal window if they don't agree with the values. The first one, Mr. Barger, and I'm sure he'll be in support. When he did some land use change, we inadvertently removed some wetlands program designation on some of his ground. This is to reinstate that and reduce that value. The other one is a new construction of a new home that was complete as of the first of the year. That building permit slipped through the cracks and our office did not receive it. We've now found it. So there is some checks and balances in the system, but these two notices we'd recommend the board approve.
Okay.
I move approval.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 6, appeal of penalty and interest on personal property from Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers.
Recommending denial of this, as we frequently point out, the board's abilities in these protests are limited to correcting penalties which were wrongly imposed or incorrectly calculated. So they basically claimed ignorance of their requirement that they file these returns. So.
I will move, we deny the appeal.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 7 is public comment. Those wishing to speak to items relating to County Board of Equalization business not on agenda may do so at this time.
Okay, anyone here for public comment? And seeing none,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.